G'day folks, Andy here from McDowall Manor. Well, I'm looking at that solar system, little standalone system that I use to charge, to power up the aquaponic pumps. I've got 2 pumps if I don't have any grid electricity. And I'm thinking, Andy, you never use it, mate. So what I'm starting to think about is, what if I took the batteries and then I wouldn't even need the bloody inverter. The batteries, and I hook it up to my mains, which during the day is run off, it runs off the solar system, which admittedly, on the house, which is admittedly hooked into the grid. But I've got the 2 batteries there, so I reckon what I could try to do is run off the grid solar off my house during the day, and then at night have a little timer that switches it over so that it runs off the power off the batteries here. I reckon that could be a go. I might have a little think through about how best to connect that. So that's a spare battery charger that I got there. I don't really tend to use it very often. It's cheap as chips, but that's okay because I'm not really going to do a lot with it. So that end plugs into the power in the shed. Only a short cord, Andy. You're going to have to think that through. That's okay. And then it comes out onto those little alligator clips, which will go straight onto the battery. So that means it comes out of the controller at 12 volt, not 240, which means I need my inverter. That's the inside of that little house. Obviously I built it to keep the weather off them. If I put them in the shed, I won't need the little house. The little house can in fact stay here. Then if I do have a blackout and I've got no grid, I just bring this stuff back out here, and Bob's your uncle. So I'll show you where I think I'm going to put that. 2 batteries and a inverter. Let's have a look at where we're going to put it. So I built a little wooden screen to hide the bottom of a pot that I had in the garden when I was overwintering the cancom. I reckon it'll be bloody perfect for this. You can see I've just stuck it on 2 little bits of, well, they're old hardwood fence uprights. Now they'll last forever. The reason I want to get it up a smidgen is occasionally I get water through the shed when it's a real bad downpour. And you can see a couple of my videos for real bad downpours because we do get them over here. But that'll hold the bloody batteries and the inverter, and I don't need to put them in any sort of house because, my God, they're already in my shed. They're in a house. I reckon I could be on a plan right beside the power board here, which I can set the timer up on. I think I'm on a plan, folks. So, I did have 2 batteries there and 1 inverter. It was all hooked up properly, and I switched it on and the inverter immediately went into squealing alarm mode. So I put the charge controller on and I checked, and no, they're fully charged, those batteries. What's going on? So I swapped the inverter, put a different inverter on, went immediately back into warning mode, so I turned it off. Took one of the batteries up to a mate of mine's place, Peter, and Peter tested them. He sells a lot of batteries and solar stuff, and it's dead as a doornail. Now that means that one will be dead as a doornail too. And what Peter's told me is they've sat out for too long, not being used and being overcharged by the cheap crap little charge controllers on the back of those camping panels. And it's killed them, which is a bit of a bugger. So I'm going to have to think of another plan, folks. I do like this idea because it can stand alone as an item that gets run this way, you know, using the power off the roof in the day to charge up the batteries and run the pumps, keep the batteries topped up, and then at night the batteries run the pump. In the morning it cuts back in. So whilst it didn't work this time, it has warned me that my backup system wouldn't have worked anyway, so it's probably good to know that. And it's put me in no worse position because I'm still running at least off solar during the day. So sometime I'll do a follow-up video for this one so I can see what I ended up deciding. I'm sort of two minds. You know, do I start and buy the odd battery that I can use to run the whole house, or do I just go the cheaper, probably more sensible option at this point in time and get a couple of batteries, enough battery power just to run the pumps? Certainly the cost would be a lot less, and for me that's always important, I'm afraid. Alright folks, well sorry that turned out a debacle, but always said I want to show you my debacles as well as everything else, because it's a great way to learn. Alright, have a good one.